everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle. Today, we are joining the dark side of scuba diving. That's right. We are going to go out and look for some beautiful bottom fish. Cabezon, lingcod, green ling, and we are going to spear them. And hopefully, we'll do a clean and cook at the end of this episode. Let's go look for some fish. Enjoy.
Previously, on the opening weekend of spearfishing, I've gone out with a few of my friends on their boat, and we were able to dive on down in the murky, dark waters of the Puget Sound to go look for fish. Now, searching down below on my first dive, I did not see a large enough lingcod to shoot. But on my second dive, when I had to go free the anchor because it was wrapped around some large rocks, I did see a lingcod and I was able to get a lingcod. Now, with that lingcod, we didn't do any filming because I only brought one battery with me, but I was able to bring that lingcod back and give it to my wife's family, my in-laws, and they were able to prepare it. It was amazing. I got some pictures of them cutting it up and beer battering it and frying it in the pan and serving it with some rice and vegetables. It was amazing. I bet it tasted really good. Now let's go look for some fish on this dive. Enjoy. So for those of you who don't know, I only dive with one fin because I have a fake leg, a prosthetic leg, so I do not require a fin on that leg. So there's some decent sized rockfish down here, but you cannot shoot any rockfish. As I work my way up the artificial reef, I'm starting to notice a lot of rope on the ground. This looks like a really fresh drop. So I'm just searching all the holes and the nooks and crannies in hopes I can find a lingcod to get. So as I'm looking, trying to find a lingcod or a cabezon, I'm going to run into a couple of our divers that are down here. They're going down and they're moving left on the artificial reef, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go down the right side of the artificial reef. So the artificial reef dead ends close to where I started on it, so I'm going to go back to this rope. I have a feeling that there's a pretty decent anchor down here. The rope is brand new, it's got no growth on it, so I'm going to see if I can end up bringing back an anchor so I'm not coming back empty-handed. So after I cleared out all the seaweed, I was able to get the anchor out of the wedge between the boulders. It actually looks like a pretty decent galvanized anchor. This anchor was a pretty fresh drop. There's no barnacles or growth on it. It doesn't even really have a dirty look to it, and there's still somewhat of a label on it. So it looks like I have an anchor with two types of ropes attached to it, probably about 100 feet, and there's a section of chain as well. At this point, I'm pretty committed to recovering this anchor. So this anchor is probably about 20 pounds. This is probably a good $100 to $150 worth with the anchor, the two new ropes, the chain, the shackles that attach the rope to the chain. So this is going to be a decent recovery. So one rope is negative and the other one is positive, but both ends of the ropes go back to the anchor, which is really strange. So I don't have a lift bag, and nobody takes a lift bag with them when they go spearfishing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fully inflate my back plate wing and go back to our anchor and then just safely go up our anchor line with the rope. So while doing this, especially with buoyant rope, you have to make sure of the entanglement hazard. So you have to keep the rope out away from you at all times so it does not get tangled in your gear. So after a short swim, I find our anchor that goes up to our boats. So I'm going to make sure that the anchor that I recovered is all untangled so I can take one end of the rope up to the boat. The buoyant section of the rope is tied off to the anchor as well as the negative section that's chained to the anchor. So I'm going to untie this section and take it up when I go through the column on my ascent, and I will pass this to somebody on the boat so they can finish pulling up the anchor. Now I'm going to move the anchor and the access rope away from our anchor that's attached to our boats because the currents could also entangle both lines and it would be very hard pulling up two anchors at once. Now this is where I'm going to hand off the line to my anchor to a friend, and then I need to climb onto the boat so I can get razzed for not bringing up a lingcod. But to be fair, it's always good to have spare anchors, and I wanted to make sure that our friends that operate the boats have a couple of spare anchors. So this is going to be dive number 2. Hopefully I can get a fish. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a surface current from the wind, but once you get below the surface, there's not really any current at all. So we ended up anchoring on a different spot. So we're going to go down here and check out this little artificial reef. Hopefully we can see some good fish. At this moment, as I'm turning, a lingcod is swimming right underneath me. I take a shot at it and miss. Here's a nice big female lingcod. She's far too large to shoot. I see a greenling, so I end up shooting it. A second later, a nice lingcod swims by. Further down the reef, I see another greenling and take another greenling. I am absolutely bummed. I've only had 2 lingcod sightings that were of size. It's the end of my dive. Well, at least I'm not going empty-handed. I got these 2 greenlings on my stringer, so we'll be taking something home to cook and show you guys. With all the years of spearfishing, at least I can say I'm not coming back empty-handed. I'm really bummed I didn't get a lingcod or a cabezon, but you can't win every time. So here's what I have to show for 2 dives today on our little spearfishing adventure in the Puget Sound, Washington. This nice little greenlings, an anchor, and I know I kind of feel a little skunked, but at least I'm not coming back empty-handed. Now we're going to prepare the fish, and we're going to have it smoked. My wife is going to tell you guys about how she smoked it.
Okay, been 3 hours, time to take out the fish. Okay, the fish that was caught yesterday is smoked and out, and I'm gonna have it with some rice and some kimchi, and I will probably give the skin to these guys. So it's not too pretty, my staging, but it is really flaky. So I'll kind of pick out the fish and then leave the skin for the puppies.
So that's going to conclude another episode of Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and make sure you have subscribed and hit the notifications. See you next time.